Yo, YouTube, happy October. Today, we are gonna today I am going to react to a couple of scary videos. The first one is the this guy, the guy I subscribed to since before COVID started. Well, damn, no, I was in high school as freshman, sophomore when I started watching him. But anyway, this is the title of the video is three scary true security guard horror stories. Also, no, this is not AI. Somebody apparently somebody accused him like a long time apparently, and they accused him like using AI for his scary story. He got pissed off about that shit. I'm like, people do need to stop accusing you or not. But yeah, I'm gonna react to some video. know, yeah. So hopefully y'all guys enjoy the stream. Let's get to it.
Want to get your hands on an exclusive premium hoodie just for the 2025 holiday?
Nope, nope. Security guard horror story. Oh, it's anonymous.
I've been with my company now for a good amount of time.
I
I
know they
think
got some type
probably
too.
about 6 years now. Thanks to the amount of time I've put in, I have seniority over the other associates. Not to mention, I have a lot more training and credentials under my belt than they did. The company recently picked up a new contract for some kind of big government office building. Where it's located, rather strange for it to be a government office building.
Hmm?
I won't get into exact locations, but to give you an idea of what the area it's located in looks like, what makes it so strange is that it's located in damn near the middle of nowhere.
Like
It's a
that.
giant 6-story building surrounded by a giant parking lot. The parking lot is surrounded by a metal fence that's about 10 feet tall. On the top of the fence is barbed wire. There's only one way in and one way out in front of the building at the opening of the parking lot that meets the side road that it's located off of. The side road is about 3 miles away from the main road, which leads to the highway. The fence is completely surrounded by woods.
Mm.
There are literally no buildings, houses, or any other signs of civilization for miles around. Due to my seniority, I get to work whatever shifts and days I want. Typically, I choose to work mornings or evenings and have weekends or Fridays and Saturdays off. Unfortunately, after a few months of us being at this new contract, we started having trouble keeping the overnight people. During the day, there's usually about 3 guards working all 7 days of the week. On the overnight shift during the weekdays, there's 2 guards, and on the overnight shift during the weekend, starting Friday to Sunday, was only 1 guard. I should mention before I go any further, every guard is armed on every shift. As I said, we're having trouble keeping people on the overnight shift, mainly on the weekend overnight shift. Because of this, my supervisor asked me if I could help out until they could hire more people and work some overtime on the weekend overnight shifts. I could have, and in hindsight, should have said no thanks. But at the time, I actually needed the extra money because I was getting ready to move to a new apartment soon. So I went ahead and accepted the extra shifts. The first couple of weeks were fine. No issues, nothing strange. But what happened on the third weekend is what made me regret my decision for the overtime.
Uh-oh.
It was a Saturday night around 2 a.m. There was a very bad thunderstorm going on outside. Sitting in the camera control room, which is on the top floor.
Mhm.
The control room has a window that oversees the back part of the parking lot. In the room, there's 3 large-sized computer screens that show the CCTV live feed from all the cameras located throughout the building, as well as the few cameras that are outside in the parking lot by the entrance/exit of the parking lot. I was sitting in the control room doing what I normally was doing while working over myself. I had the lights off watching movies I previously downloaded on my phone, while also playing games on my Game Boy.
Oh
I had been
shit.
sitting down for a while, got up to stretch my legs and move
Shit,
around a
Game
bit.
Boy.
Was also starting to feel a little sleepy. I was thinking about going down the hall to the vending machine and grabbing.
No, I never played a Game Boy until like 2 years later. If I ever get a Game Boy or if I play in person, be a miracle. I don't get a Nintendo soon. Not soon, but that would also be right.
An energy drink. I got up and walked around the control room for a bit, stretching my legs. I over to the window, peeked through the blinds to look outside. I was watching, looking at all the heavy wind and rain blowing the random debris around. Just about to walk away from the window to grab that energy drink. All of a sudden, a flash of lightning lit up the surrounding area past the fence. Just then, I saw a figure dart from one tree to another that was a good distance from it, say about 20 feet. I kept my position, looking in that direction through the blinds, waiting for another
Hey, what's
flash
up,
of
Eli?
lightning
How you
to see if I
doing?
could see exactly what it
Watching
was,
a
or
I'm
if my
watching a
eyes were
scary
playing
video right
tricks on
now.
me. After a couple of seconds went by, another flash struck. This time, I didn't
How
see
you doing,
anything
man?
near or around the tree that I saw the figure move to. At that point, I thought clearly my eyes were playing tricks on me, that it was just me being tired. I left from the window, went down the hall, and got the energy drink. I leaped down the whole thing, hoping that it would kick in soon. I was finished with it by the time it took me to walk back to the control room, which wasn't long, about 5 minutes. Got back to the control room, noticed that one of the camera feeds
Hey,
had been
Eli, I'm
knocked
not
out on
lagging,
one of the
am I?
screens. Camera feed to the back part of the parking lot that the window overlooked.
Or
I
like
went over to
delay?
the window and looked out the blinds in the direction of the camera. I spotted it dangling in the wind from its wires from the post that it was on. Figured the heavy winds must have knocked it off somehow. Sat back at my desk and put in my report for the night. Went back to what I was originally doing. A few minutes had passed while I was watching a movie on my phone. Heard the alert sound the system gives when someone is accessing a part of the building that requires a code to be entered on a keypad. I looked at the main screen and pulled up the tab that shows the access points of the building. Showed me the one being accessed was the one in the back of the building by the back parking lot. At that point, a shiver ran down my spine as I realized someone was outside. A shadow figure to the camera being knocked out, now to this, the keypad being accessed. Whoever it was had the code because they got in. The system showed me the green light. I thought to myself, it couldn't be another worker or security guard. If it was a worker, it would have a memo telling us who it was and what times they would be here, as well as what part of the building they would be in. I knew it wasn't a security guard because I would have known about that too. Picked up the phone that was on my desk in an attempt to call the cops, but it was out. Looked at my phone. Of course, no service. Figured the best thing to do would be to try to walk around the hallway and try to get service on my phone. Left out of the control room and into the hallway. Started walking down the hallway toward the service stairwell while looking at my phone, hoping to get a signal soon. Just then, as I was looking down at my phone, power was shut off. I immediately decided, since I was so close to the stairs, that I was going to run down the stairs to the front lobby, run out the door to my truck. Got to the stairwell and opened it up. Damn near pitch black in there. I decided to use the darkness to my advantage and walk quietly down the steps. Figured if this person cut the power, it had to be in the generator.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all guys. If this ever happened to me, I'm gonna cry. I'm all by myself at 2 in the morning. Security guard? Yeah. I'm scared.
Which was in the basement. Fortunately, the basement was the only flight of steps below the lobby where I was headed. Also, the generator was not too far away from the stairwell that I was in. Made it down to the 4th floor. Suddenly, I heard a door open at the bottom of the stairwell. Stopped dead in my tracks. At this point, I knew I was armed, but I was thinking to myself, even though I went through training, I don't think I was ready to shoot anyone. I was hoping and praying that it wouldn't come to that. As I was standing there, immersed in my thoughts about my training with my firearm, I started hearing heavy footsteps walking up the stairs. I wasted no time in coming up with a new plan. I was going to turn around and walk as quickly and quietly back up the steps as possible to the 6th floor where I came from. At the top of the steps, a few feet past the door, still in the stairwell, there's a ladder that leads up to the hatch that leads to the roof of the building. I was going to climb up the ladder to the top just before you have to open the hatch to go any further, and just hide in there in the pitch black darkness until whatever happens next. Turned around. Just as I did, a gun banged against the metal to the stairwell railing, making a loud clang sound. That happened, rose, and so did the heavy footsteps. 2 seconds had gone by, then I heard whoever it was running as fast as they could up the steps. I sprang as fast as I could, running up the steps as if my life depended on it. I got to the top of the steps, just before I was about to pass the door I had come from. I had an idea to create a diversion on the fly. Quickly opened up the door hard and loud, then let go of the handle and let it close and slam on its own. Continued to run to the ladder and climb up it. And doing that, make it appear that I had run out the door. Only seconds to spare, I made it up the ladder. The man, distracted by the door tactic, opened it without even looking in my direction, ran into the hall, the heavy door closing behind him. That's when I saw my chance. Leapt down from the ladder, about 10 feet high, ending with a loud thud as my feet hit the floor. Bolted for the stairs. The man must have heard the sound, because I had barely made it down one flight before I heard the door open again, his footsteps pounding down after me. Both of us were sprinting as fast as we
Sorry.
could. Managed to stay one floor ahead of him the entire way. When I reached the lobby, Buck was suddenly on my side. Behind me, I heard a loud crashing noise followed by a cry of pain. I wasn't certain. I think the man had tripped and fallen on the stairs. Wasn't about to wait around to confirm. Burst through the door, ran straight for the entrance, and used my key to unlock it. Fortunately, I always parked my truck close by. Wind howling, rain pouring down. I hit the fob to start the engine and unlock the doors as I sprinted across the lot. Jumped into the truck, threw it in reverse, and just then caught sight of him, dressed all in black, his face covered by a mask and hood, bursting out of the building and charging toward my car. I slammed the gear into drive and floored it, tires screeching as I tore out of the lot and onto the side road. It wasn't until I was nearly at the main road that I got a signal on my phone. Call the police. They arrived about 15 minutes later, and I followed them back to the building. Told them everything, filling out reports for both them and my company. We searched the entire building and surrounding area, but found nothing. The scariest part came when they checked the stairwell. Apparently, when the man had fallen, dropped something. Police recovered a fully loaded, unregistered, semi-automatic handgun.
Shit.
To this day, no one knows why someone would have broken into that building. Nothing particularly special about it, except that it was government property. Whatever the case, I'm just thankful that luck was on my side that night.
There you are, okay. Holy shit. God dang. And there's another anonymous. Holy shit. Back to back.
Used to work nights as a security guard in a medium-sized corporate office building in New Jersey. For the most part, the nights were boring, quiet, and uneventful, which is why what happened one night has stuck with me so vividly for years. It started around midnight. After the last employees had left the building, the lobby was empty except for me. Just me and the glow of the security monitors.
Hold up, chat. Hold up. I just realized my screen is out of frame right now. Let me fix that shit real. Sorry. Yo guys are like, oh, camera's actually good. No, it's not good for me. Alright. Stay. Step bro. Oh wow, shit. It didn't save it? Alright. Oh, that's not it. I try not to like uh which one is it? Damn, I don't know which one it is. Oh, that's not it. What the fuck? No. No, no, no. Ah, fuck it. Let's just react. I'm gonna figure out how to do this after this video. Alright.
My job was simple. Check
All
count
right.
in the globe. Employee vividly
Ah,
boring
stop. Shut up. Let's start back over.
to work nights as a security guard in a medium-sized
Another
corporate
security
office
guard?
building in New Jersey. For the most part, the
Oh,
nights were boring,
I'm a
quiet,
dumbass. It literally said three scary true security guard horror stories. Golly, I'm such a dumbass.
uneventful, which is why what happened one night has stuck with me so vividly for years. It started around midnight. After the last employees had left the building, the lobby was empty except for me. Just me and the glow of the security monitors. My job was simple: check cameras, make a couple of patrol rounds, log any incidents, and mostly just sit and watch for anything unusual. That night, I was going through my usual routine, scanning the screens for the elevators, the hallways, and the underground parking garage. I noticed a figure moving between the cars on the lower garage feed, which immediately caught my attention because the lot should have been completely empty at this hour. Only people with 24-hour access could get in. I knew no one had it at that moment. At first, I thought it might have been one of the late shift IT guys, or maybe a cleaning member, but it didn't make sense. Cleaning
That's a late night IT guy? I didn't know that was a thing. Why that work? I mean, it depends like they're doing like video games and shit, but what they doing for late? What?
crews had left hours before, and the guy wasn't carrying any.
Now I'm worried because, like, bro, if I work for IT, I don't want to work for late. I'd be scared as fuck. It'd be like 1, 2 in the morning. What time of that shit? Some nigga just robbed, some nigga about to rob me or some shit.
Equipment or wearing a uniform. He was wearing a long dark coat that looked a little oversized. He wasn't heading to any particular car or toward the exit. He just moved slowly,
Huh?
keeping around the rows like he was inspecting the area, making sure no one was around. Something about the way he moved gave me the chills. Couldn't put my finger on it, but it was off. I called the supervisor and explained what I was seeing. He told me to stay at my post and keep an eye on the cameras, which I did. My gut told me I needed to check it in person. So I grabbed my flashlight and headed down to the garage. The elevator ride was long, slow, and every floor that passed seemed to echo in the shaft, making me more on edge than I cared to admit. Doors opened on the garage level. I scanned the lot with my flashlight. It was empty, completely quiet, kind of quiet that presses against your ears and makes every little creak of the building sound huge. I called out, "Hello, security here." The echo returned empty. I didn't hear any reply. I walked slowly down the rows of cars, shining the light into every dark corner, every space between vehicles. There was nothing there. Not a single shadow, not a single person. My pulse was racing. I started to doubt myself, thinking maybe the camera was malfunctioning, or maybe it had picked up a shadow that wasn't really there. So I went back upstairs to the lobby, trying to shake it off. But as soon as I sat back down and looked at the garage feed again, there he was, standing in the exact same spot, as if he hadn't moved since I'd been there. Now my stomach dropped, as I knew I had just been there. There was no way he could have gotten back into the same spot unnoticed unless he had been watching me, or worse, waiting for me. Radioed my supervisor again, telling him I was going to keep watching the cameras, and he told me not to approach him unless absolutely necessary, which was easier said than done because I couldn't stop staring at him. My mind was already running through every possible scenario. The next 20 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
I watched him wander slowly toward the stairwell that led to the upper floors, carefully, pausing, looking over his shoulder like he was checking for someone, then disappeared from the camera just before reaching the door, which made my stomach knot. Checked every other feed, hallways, elevator lobbies, and the rooftop access, and there was nothing. No trace of him at all, which only made me feel worse because it was impossible for him to vanish that fast. It gave me the sinking feeling that he had access to the building somehow, or he was hiding in a way that I couldn't see. I stayed at
What,
my
he a
desk,
ghost?
heart pounding, until the elevator dinged and opened in the lobby. Nobody was inside, but on the polished floor, I noticed wet footprints leading from the
Yeah,
elevator headed
nah.
into the main
Oh,
lobby.
no.
Bare feet. Wrong on so many levels because it was freezing inside. Would have had to take his shoes off just to wander barefoot. I froze in my tracks, realizing that if he was inside the building now, anywhere, every unlocked office or storage room was a potential hiding spot. I called the local off-site patrol for backup and debated locking myself in the lobby. Something in me told me I needed to do a patrol and confirm the situation, which in retrospect was probably a mistake. I took the elevator to the 5th floor, started walking the hallway slowly, flashlight in hand, scanning every office door, checking for movement. Every creak of the building made me jump. Halfway down the hall, I saw one of the office doors slightly ajar, which shouldn't have been possible because it was always locked at night. Pushed it open with my flashlight, peering inside, but the room was empty, except for a sleeping computer monitor and a chair pushed in under the desk. Nothing else. I stepped out into the hall again, froze because I heard the sound of footsteps on the tile behind me. Not mine. Heavy, wet, and uneven, moving fast towards me. My heart leapt into my throat, and I swung my flashlight around the hall, catching a glimpse of the dark coat at the end of the hallway. It wasn't running. It was walking fast with a purpose. It hit me. It had been following me the entire time, hiding just out of sight whenever I checked the cameras. I bolted, sprinting down the hall toward the stairwell, barely noticing the handrail slamming against my arm as I rushed past. The footsteps followed,
Oh
close enough
no.
that I could hear
Oh
them
no.
clearly
No,
now,
no, no, no,
echoing
no,
in the
no, no,
hall.
no, no.
I realized no idea how he had gotten inside, no idea what he wanted. The panic was almost suffocating. I dove into the stairwell, sliding down a few steps, and slammed the door behind me as the footsteps thundered on the floor above. Then they stopped abruptly. I sat there shaking for several minutes, trying to catch my breath and convincing myself I had imagined it. The sound of my own breathing, the echo of those steps made me feel insane. The patrol finally arrived. It was pale, sweaty, and trembling.
Shit,
We
I'm
walked
me
the
too.
building together, floor by floor, room by room. The garage was completely empty. No sign of the intruder, no footprints, nothing. When we checked the cameras, the footage from the time he appeared had been overwritten or corrupted, leaving a gap in the recording that made my skin crawl even more. I quit that job within a month, partly because of the fear, partly because I couldn't handle walking the hallways alone anymore, especially when the garage was empty. Wind outside made the building creak, as every shadow and every noise reminded me of him walking behind me, just out of sight, waiting. Even years later, I get anxious in parking garages or office buildings at night. I still check out.
Hold up, chat. My food is here. My food is here. Uh, uh, all right, chat. This is what we're gonna do.
Over my shoulder more than I
Hold up.
should,
Let me react to some
thinking
video
I might see
first.
that long coat rounding a corner, hearing those wet footsteps behind me again. I know that what I experienced wasn't supernatural. It
Right.
wasn't a faceless ghost or a phantom.
Mm-hmm.
It was a real person, a stalker.
Hold up. I'm gonna see this work again. I want to eat on the couch. But that's what I do. That's what I do. Get on my bed up, man. Jump. Bring my equipment over. For my USB hub. Put down my chair. It's gonna be messy as fuck, dude. What the fuck is headphone on? Hold up, chat. Where the fuck is the thing go for my headphone? You up here. Hey, that just fell. Awesome. YouTube, you gotta wait, okay? You can skip this video. I don't care. Get this out of here. Off of there. And you're on my boo back. Get off my boo back. Get off there. Oh shit. Ooh. All right. Oh my god. All right. Done this shit before. Let's do it again. But the mouse, the keyboard, the mouse on invaded. Put this chair up. Okay. That's right. Awesome. Check. Mine. Will be awesome. 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 Get a chair in the way, champ. Hold up. Chair for y'all. I'll buy one thing. So basically, I got two sides right there. Two sides. Okay, right. I get to. I didn't even get my prize. And fuck you. My home. I don't eat. See the Star Trek. I think they were like, yeah, yesterday, which I did. All right, let's continue.
Thought that he had been inside that building following me, hiding just out of view, that I might never know how he got in or what he wanted. Something that still haunts me every time I think about that night.
Ah. Who?
This happened to me
I think Bob.
this happened to me a few days ago. As a matter of fact, it was my first night of training as a mobile security guard. Before I tell you my story, I just want to clarify that a mobile security guard is primarily a security guard that drives around in the vehicle and does site visitation where the client needs security. In this case, it's the GTA of Toronto, but this incident took place at a nearby pharmacy/medical clinic in Mississauga. It was my first night as a trainee. My supervisor was a nice person, showing me around to conduct patrols, write reports, disarm fire alarms, etc.
It's hot.
Usually, if an alarm occurs, dispatch notifies us through the radio and asks us to attend the site where the alarm is happening. However, I arrived at the medical clinic in Mississauga to conduct a regular perimeter patrol, which also meant there was no alarm. We arrived on the site around 1:15 a.m. to make sure everything was normal. As we got out of the vehicle and approached the building, something was terribly wrong. For one, the underground parking garage was left open. Two, the front door of the building was busted open. My supervisor then said, how is this possible? If somebody broke in, the alarm should be on. I did not know how to react to this, as this was my first time at the site. According to my supervisor, this was a new contract that the security company I worked for got. He stepped in the building cautiously. All of a sudden, my supervisor says, "Look at the elevator. It's going up at different levels." Sure enough, he was not kidding. The elevator was moving from G1, 2, 3, and stopped at level 4,
Yeah.
which was the very top. I asked my supervisor if he thinks someone was in here. He immediately nods and pulls out his baton. That very moment, I was feeling sick to my stomach and started breathing heavily. At that point, I hated my job and did not want to be there. I immediately went inside the elevator, straight to the top level, getting a bad feeling. Some adrenaline was rushing through my body before the elevator door was about to open. As we were going up each level, I was thinking to myself, like, if something happens, or whoever this person or thing is might not leave without a fight, possibly even charge at us as the elevator door opens. However, luckily as we arrived at the fourth floor, no one was in front of us, but it was extremely dark. Therefore, we turned on the lights and started investigating the rooms of that floor. My supervisor told me to stick with him, as even he was feeling uncomfortable. He said, I quote, "Make sure you stick with me and get ready to bust this fight." Luckily, no one was there. We were very shocked and didn't know what was happening until we heard footsteps going down the stairwell. My supervisor and I were about to open the door to the stairs and chase whoever it was inside. However, just then, footsteps stopped and it was very quiet. Only hear each other's breathing. What my supervisor said next to dispatch is something I will never forget. Still is rattling around in my A4, call C25, go ahead. Dispatch, immediate backup. Please be advised, someone's in the building with us, and they're hiding downstairs, possibly armed, and waiting for us to come towards them so he or they can ambush us. Dispatch then tells us to stay where we are and not approach the suspect or whoever it was downstairs, as backup will be arriving shortly. At that point, my supervisor started panicking. This made the situation even worse. He should be the one to lead and not feel worried. Then again, I don't blame him. This experience was overwhelming and horrifying for me. My supervisor is only a couple of years older than me, so I preferably call him bro instead of sir or whatever. Bro, just don't worry. Sure backup will be arriving shortly, I told him. Might be wondering why we could not hit the exit and run for it. See, the suspect is on the ground floor, which means he could be anywhere. But with the elevator making noises, or she could be alarmed and immediately stand in front of the elevator blocking our way. The suspect could approach us by coming upstairs, but I guess that he or they figured we could attack him by surprise. So maybe that's why he was quietly waiting at the corner for us downstairs. 15 minutes later, I heard the door open. It's our senior supervisor. His voice echoed out, "Security." The supervisor radioed him. Said, "Sir, we're upstairs. Be careful, there's someone downstairs." Minutes later, the senior supervisor met us upstairs and told us to come investigate with him. Therefore, we did. Looked everywhere downstairs and then each floor, found no one. We were at the third floor, scanning each room and bathroom to see if the person was there. Heard the front door open, heard footsteps running outside. Not fast enough to see who it was, because by the time we got to the ground floor, the suspect was gone. Both my supervisor and I were in shock, as we looked everywhere and did not find anyone. But that person was in a very good hiding spot. That medical clinic center was haunted. I think I'll ever know. This was by far the most horrific experience of my life. Coming this weekend, I'll be there again for site visitation,
Ah,
but this time alone. I'll be trained by them.
yeah. Holy shit. Pretty guard. Pretty guard enjoyed. See me still eating this video. So we're going back to another video. That's scary.